Alrighty, George, take over.
Good evening. Hope we're all doing well. We are back with another FPL show after the success of last week's one. We thought we'd condemn you to mine and Matt's dulcet tone. So, um, once again, I welcome Matt. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. Good. Excited to get another episode done. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool. We also have Hubert as well, who's producing and going to put couple of bits in. So, welcome, mate.
Greetings.
Cool. So we'll start with the last game week that just went past. We'll briefly touch on that. How did you do, Matt? Did you do all right?
83 points, mate. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, to be honest with you. I was gutted that Destiny Adogi got pulled off 5 minutes before getting 6 points, which would have put me on 88. But yeah, Ange Postecoglou done the dirty there, took him off. Other than that, it went as well as it could have done. I say that. Do you know what? We've got to follow on from what we were talking about before. 12:30 kickoff. It's a myth. Now it's a myth. Mo got, he scored twice and I should have captained him, but I went with Haaland.
Yeah,
that's kind of going to be the theme of today, though, isn't it? Haaland.
Yeah. As if people have seen the title, we will move on to later in the show, Erling Haaland. But yeah,
go on, mate. Tell us your score. Go
on. I don't know why I got 89. So I got a lot to thank Anthony Gordon, Jared Bowen, and Kieran Trippier. So the only ones who didn't do nothing for me was Cash and Diaby, really. Oh, and Matt Turner, but yeah.
Mate, you got a lot to thank Jared Bowen for. That should have been an own goal.
Well, obviously for me, like the perfect eyesight I got was definitely a Jared Bowen goal. But I'm biased. So yeah,
that's 2020, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, obviously with Adobe, I suppose you make your own destiny in this FPL.
Yeah, like what you did there.
Yeah. How did you do, Hubert?
Silence, the pause,
The anticipation.
Yeah, wait with bated breath.
I think you've done all right from when I briefly looked, but we all come back. I was saying, how did you do in the FPL?
Yeah, I didn't do as well as you guys. I got 60 something points, 58 points I think I got, so few points
over the average. Was it over or under? No, just under, wasn't it?
Just under. Could have been better, but again, Cash let me down, and Diaby and Jackson. So, not brilliant, but Haaland, captained him, got me 16 points. Maddison did pretty well. Spurs clean sheet helped, so yeah, not too bad. Few players I'm considering and to replace, so could have been better, but yeah, it could have been a lot worse too. So I'll take it. Captain choice went my way, which is the main thing, I think.
Yeah, sounds good. If we have any comments here, just feel free to just butt in and
Yep,
say.
I'll chirp in.
So as for the ones who watched last week, we did do like a top. I think it was like a top 3 differential or main people in. But what we're going to do is what the best hosts do, they nick other people's ideas. So Matt and Hubert suggested this, so I'm running with it. So we're going to name.
Hang on, whoa! Before we go any further, mate, I think I should show some acknowledgement.
Yeah, go on.
Brian and Boomer.
Oh,
He's done the business for me last week.
Thought he was going to mention.
Oh yeah, I had to, before we go any further, I had to just go with it. 14 points, goal and an assist.
Yeah, he won't do nothing else. Don't worry about it.
He was a keep. In the bin was Jordan Pickford. He conceded twice. He was bang on the money there last week.
Yeah. I had it the other way around. I had Brian Moe to get rid of. So if you listen to me, don't. Really? So yeah, hopefully my in or bin this week will be a lot different, and I don't see it changing. It's a bit of an obvious bin, though, to be fair, because it's been mad this week. I've not really had time to plan it, but Yeah, we'll see.
Hmm.
And my Martinelli pick didn't really work, but then Arsenal forgot to turn up for 70 minutes in last week's game. So um, we'll move on to like the what I was going to say. We're going to pick a player from each position. And that's what we were going to do, wasn't it, boys?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Yep.
Um, and then that can be like who you think's like your main person, or even if an enabler or a budget player. So, like for example, God, this is really hard. Like when I thought it's an absolute great thing to do with the show going forward. But the problem is, there's not many good goalkeepers. um, so, for me, the only goalkeeper that jumps out for me, and I've had this conversation already with Matt all week, is Sam Johnson. He's really the only goalkeeper that jumps out for me. Yeah, you can go for your Allisons or your Popes or Edersons, but that's a lot of money to carry just in as a goalkeeper. Don't know what you think, Matt.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. He's a good pick. This coming game week, he is at home to Tottenham, so maybe that's a write-off. But then after that, Johnston's fixtures are looking pretty sweet. So yeah, I think he's got, barring a tricky game away to West Ham in there as well. Other than that, until their fixtures get bad when they play Liverpool and Man City, they're on a good run. So yeah, he's a good pick.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people are actually going for Alfonso Areola, but I didn't realise how bad defensively West Ham are. When I was looking earlier today. So yeah, you might get the odd clean sheet with him, but it's not a guarantee. So that's something to put into consideration. And you people will probably be shouting watching the videos then. "Oh, what about David Raya? Yeah, what about David Raya? So you could have David. We could have David Raya playing for us on Saturday, or we might have Aaron Ramsdale. But one thing you've got to put into consideration is that David Raya can't play game week 13 because it's against Brentford. So could that be the thing to, if what Mikel says is true, that could be a bit of a run for Ramsdale. But I don't know if you agree, Hubert. It's a bit dodgy. It's a bit dangerous going between them two, isn't it? Really.
Well, at the moment, you're really looking at the fact that David Raya has been starting, I think, more than Ramsdale. But I'll tell you what, the pick of Sam Johnston as a goalkeeper, no, confused. I mean, there's one keeper that I would. Well, there's two keepers I'd look at here. I know you probably won't mention one of them because I think you might start singeing at the thought. But one of the two keepers has to be Vicario for me.
Yeah, I forgot about him. To be fair, I'm not
And
gonna lie.
Villa are going to Luton. You might want to consider Villa keeper too.
My only issue with that, um, I think they're two good goalkeepers. Like taking my biasness away, which I'm getting better at. Um, is that do you really want to have a Villa goalkeeper when you have the options of say a Matty Cash, Diaby, and Watkins, or Douglas Luiz? That's like if you didn't have those options, then I think Martinez is a ban on. I had Martinez for most of the season last season. For me,
Yeah, the one thing I'll
Bukayo,
say there, mate, the one thing I'm going to say there on Martinez is he does pick up quite a few yellows. So
yeah,
it's just due to the time wasting he does. Then the ref books him. So
yeah.
you're guaranteed to not get, you might get a
I
clean
don't.
sheet, but instead of the 6, you'll get 5.
I don't get me wrong. He is a good goalkeeper. Like,
Yeah, he
you,
is. Yeah.
to win the World Cup, you kind of have to be good, don't you? But
Yeah.
besides that squadron, Mustafi won the World Cup. So yeah, moving on. Um, so, but yeah, I think the Spurs goalkeeper. I think you've got a point there. The only thing that would put me off of Spurs is there is a lot of people actually moving from Spurs assets in the next few weeks just because of their slight fixture change. I think they've got like 3 of the top 5 or something, or the
You do have
supposed top 5.
Palace this coming tomorrow,
Yeah,
though.
so like for tomorrow, it'll probably be.
Just to give you an update as well, Brighton and Liverpool have both won their Europa League fixtures. today against Ajax and
Toulouse.
Toulouse, respectively. There we go.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I was recording that game. That's that over with. Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
I have to keep listeners updated. It's a live show, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, there was certain things that happened in that Liverpool lineup I was a bit confused about. But anyway, that's another show. Yeah, the thing with the Tottenham Palace game, for an FPL point of view, I know Palace got absolutely smashed against Newcastle, but that was at Newcastle. I think this is at Palace.
It is.
So I'm not saying Tottenham won't score, because I think they will, and I think Tottenham will win. But I don't think it'll be as easy as people were thinking. I think it could be like a 1 or 2-0. So I wouldn't necessarily go Johnson now, but it's as from game week 11, that's when I would. I just honestly can't think of another goal. The only other goalkeeper I was thinking of, if his fixtures weren't that bad, and I'll come to you, Hubert, because it's to do with your club, is Sanchez.
Sanchez? It depends. I mean, he had a howler against Arsenal. Is he the worst goalkeeper? Probably not. But, I mean, we've got Brentford, Tottenham to follow. I think Brentford, you don't know. Tottenham will definitely concede. Brentford, we might concede too. I don't know about that one. He's the one I'm questioning, but maybe not an immediate replacement just yet.
Yeah, cool. So, right, we'll move on to defenders because that might be a bit easier. So,
See, for me, mate, just before we move on, I just think, right, if you've got the funds, it's Alisson for Liverpool. Just the fixtures are great. Barring the Man City game after the international break, if you can do it, he's nailed on. He's going to be a starter, and he's always on for the bonus as well. So,
yeah,
for me, he did pretty well last week. So, yeah, if you've got the funds and you can do it,
I just
Alisson.
don't like spending all that money on a keeper, but that's probably just me though.
It does take a lot of the money, yeah, but
Yeah.
it could be worth it because then you've got someone who's going to start, but then you're banking on a clean sheet. So,
Yeah, cool. We'll move on to the defenders because we have quite a few options here. So I think we would all be in agreement to.
Just another European update. Aberdeen played out a thriller with a Greek team who beat Aberdeen 3-2.
That's a shame. Right, for Aberdeen, not for the Greek team. I think we're all in agreement who we're going to go for, who we would choose as one of the top defenders, aren't we? I think it's got to be Trips.
we're not in agreement. No, we're not.
Yeah.
I've got to go Costa Simicas. I think everyone's going to notice my Liverpool bias here with these picks. So he's coming in. He's replaced.
I go for Georges for bias, but Matt, you're doing it today.
There's going to be a good run here, mate. It's going to be. He's come in. He's replaced Andy Robertson. He's going to be until the new year. So, and especially for 4.5 mil.
And he'll play definitely on Sunday because he didn't play tonight. So
Luke Chambers played tonight.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was. I thought it was Callum Chambers signed for Liverpool. Not gonna lie, I thought, what's he doing there? Luke Chambers, did he play for West Brom like in the early 2000s?
He's only young. He went out on loan to Kilmarnock last season. Done well there. So he's only.
Must have been another Chambers. But anyway, I think Simicas is decent. I just think the assets, the attacking threat with Trippier. I know a lot of people saying, defensive they might concede, but we all know what Trippier is going to do. What do you think, Hubert?
Yeah, Trippier is a good one. I think he's gotten me a lot of points. I think he got me 10 points last week. So to me, I think that's a good recommendation. Again, Matty Cash against Luton. Luton, they do score against teams. They may not be winning, but they do score, which is the only concern. However, clean sheet can also be quite likely. So keep Cash or get Cash, I think, might be an option. But Trippier, certainly, definitely. I can't remember who Newcastle have this week.
Wolves away.
Yeah, I think the clean sheet for Newcastle was possible, but yeah, they had a few injuries as well in the Champions League. So,
yeah. I think if Liverpool, it's Matt talking about them all the time. Newcastle, I think their injuries are going to catch up with them, but I think that midfield slot is where they can be got at because obviously they've got no Tonali now. But Joe Willock has just come back. So my other option, I'm going for defence. Hubert was calling Matt out for his biasness, so you're just about to see me now. I think it's the most obvious, alongside Simicas, I think it's the most obvious pick to go for this weekend, and it's Gabriel. 4.7 million at home against Sheffield United. There's not many games that are made for a player. Sheffield United conceded a hell of a lot of set pieces, and in the 8-0, I know that's a blip, a freak result, but you think how many attacking elements the defence got against Sheffield United, and Gabriel, that's what we do. That's the way we play when them corners in from Bukayo and Gabby. Gabriel might be on one. That could be I'm not saying it will happen because knowing Arsenal it'll probably be 2-1 or something, but it could be, you never know. It could be a 10 or a double point haul for Gabriel. Don't know what you think.
He gets his headers, doesn't he? So he's in. Yeah, could be.
So yeah, who would you go for, Matt, apart from Simicas? Anyone that's not Liverpool. Let's see if you can do it.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I can though. You've stumped me. I think Trips is a shout. You got to bank on cash. Excuse the joke, got to go there. See.
I like that.
And I'd have to, just Gabriel. I mean, we already spoke about him this week as well. So to me, he's a lock. You've just got to put him in. You're considering going back to that Newcastle Sheffield United game. 2 defenders, centre back in Botman, Burn as well, both scored. So why can't Gabriel do the same? So yeah, good shout.
And plus, if I'll come to you as well, Hubert. Like if Zinchenko plays, he plays that inverted role because I think they might go back to Zinchenko instead of Tommy. That allows Gabriel to do what he needs to do, even Saliba. So I think if you've got a defensive Arsenal element, it's either one of them two, isn't it?
Yeah, I think again Arsenal against Sheffield United. Yeah, it depends which Sheffield United will turn up because they're capable of scoring a goal, but you can see, I think, Villa defenders, Arsenal defenders, definitely a good shout. And if you ask Matt, Liverpool all the way.
Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna run with this theme today. So yeah,
it says a lot coming from an Everton fan, Matt.
Getting stuck on them toffees.
I didn't know Jamie Carragher was on it. Anyway, so we'll go to midfield. Is there any comments before we move
on? No comments.
Cool. For anyone who is watching, though, thank you for watching. And if you play FPL, put in who you think goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, or attacker are good people to go for, and who isn't. Just be good to hear from you. So midfield. Biasness again. It's for me.
You're gonna do it, aren't you? You're gonna do it. I know it's on the tip of your tongue.
For this
I don't know what you're saying, Matt. You've been doing Liverpool all the way so far, so
it's going to carry on.
For this game week, I just don't see how anyone else, if you haven't got him, can look at anyone else apart from Mo Salah or Bukayo Saka. Like
is Saka fit though? After he was hobbling against Sevilla.
Yeah, he's fine. Mate, he's always hobbling.
Is he though? Is that confirmed? Are you sure about this?
Yeah. Okay. There's been no news of him being injured. The only one who is injured is Gabriel Jesus, so
okay.
that could affect Martinelli. But yeah, I just playing devil's advocate. Then, if Bukayo Saka is 100% fit, or not even 100% against Sheffield United, I just feel like you've got to go there. Obviously, if you haven't got Salah, then what the hell are you doing? And the only other option I would go for is probably maybe Matoma. Don't know what you think, Matt.
Yeah. I'm just going to follow on from what you said. So if you haven't got Salah, hang your boots up. It's over. Forget about it. The form he's on, he's running away with it at the moment. So I think you just got to go with him. So he's obviously my pick, hence the Liverpool bias continuing. Saka's a good shout. But the other one I like is Heung-min Son. I think he's just in such good form at the moment. Matoma's a good shout. Martinelli, he scored a good goal against Sevilla. So there's 5.
I think with Martinelli, it changes a tiny bit if
It
Jesus
does.
did, because Jesus brings the best out of Martinelli. Like playing with Gabriel Jesus and then playing with Eddie Nketiah as two. Yeah, that's like
Diaby.
it's like going to for Martinelli. It's like going eating at Harvester and then having to deal with Eddie. It's like going back to McDonald's. So yeah.
Diaby's a good shout as well, by the way, because he's got Luton. So
Yeah.
at home.
And he didn't play tonight, so he'll be refreshed as well. So, well, he might have come on, but yeah. What do you think, Hubert?
Yeah, Diaby would have been my shout. Diaby, Saka, to be fair, if he's fit, then yeah, definitely as well. Son, Heung-min Son, probably too. They're playing Palace now. If Palace play like they did against Newcastle, granted this one is at Palace, yeah, there could be 2 goals minimum.
Cool. Right, I'm going to switch it around a bit just because Matt will know my struggles with my own head with this position. We'll start with you, Matt. Who would you go for up front?
Do you have to really ask? You know the main man I'm going for. It's got to be Darwin Núñez. It's got to be.
I just knew.
I mean, if Matt doesn't go for Liverpool, that was probably kill him.
Yep. Yeah, it's got to be Darwin. But do you know what? If it wasn't, I like the look of Callum Wilson. I think Isak's injured now. I don't know how long he's out for, but Callum Wilson is guaranteed goals. Maybe not the Arsenal game, but yeah, he'd be a good shout for me.
Cool. Hubert?
It's another. If you don't have him, what the hell are you doing? But get him in now. If you don't get him now, then don't get him at all. Get Ollie Watkins in. He's playing Luton. I'm hoping he'll do a lot. Like Matt said with Salah, if you don't have him, then you should really have him by now. And if you don't have him now, then this is your last call. Get him in. For me, For me, it's not only Watkins in; it's Watkins captain.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that. So, Watkins captain.
Good shout, yeah, definitely.
I've thought about it, but I don't think I'll do that. But see, striker, I'm going to go completely different to you guys. If they play, I think Pedro is a very decent option. He's on penalties as well. He scored again tonight. If they wasn't playing West Ham, I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. If you were looking for someone as a third striker, I think he's not actually a bad option because he does, when he plays, he seems to score. He wouldn't be like my main striker, but Darwin Núñez is being a bit of a head mess up at the minute, so I just don't know. It's weird for me. It's normally I'd be like definite yeah, but no, I'm not sure at the minute, so I need to think about it.
What about Eddie? What about Eddie?
Yeah, moving on. That's yeah. I'll probably say that, and Eddie will like grab like a goal and an assist and like get like a 15-point haul, but I just no. If Eddie Nketiah was a striker at someone like Brentford or Palace or one of them, then yeah, definite third choice striker, but not. No. I just don't. Yeah, that could be a complete different show. So yeah, there are choices that we've gone for. We'll move on to the main part of the show because just to say, obviously, this show's not going to have the same amount of minutes of messages that me and Matt have traded this week, because that adds up to about 5 hours, I think.
No, I've got a conference on the 9th of November, so we need to be out of here before then.
Yeah,
better cancel it, mate. Cancel. Yep.
So we're going to go with the main question that I'm just going to put out there bluntly that no FPL so-called experts have asked. That's why we're different. Do you keep Erling Haaland or do you sell Erling Haaland? We'll start with you, Hubert, because I know your thoughts on this.
He's thinking.
No, I was just checking the next Man City game.
Oh yeah.
I would question captaining him, but I would still keep him at this point because I think he can still deliver a goal, so he will
Yeah.
still deliver you points. But he may not always be, and he very often actually has not been the greatest captain choice. Most weeks there are other players that doubled could have earned a few more points than Haaland. So I'd say keep him, but think twice about giving him that armband.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking of it. Matt, I'm going to go last just because I've got aspects to my argument. But so, Matt.
We like you said, we've been swapping messages about this all week.
Bring in 3 Liverpool strikers and captain all of them.
Yeah.
Read my mind. Yeah,
that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would. Yeah, could you imagine if you could do that? Cool. Yeah. It's really hard. I mean, we're kind of living on the edge here. We're talking about this comment, like you said, this discussion, because no one's been talking about it online that I'm aware of. But with Haaland, there's that fear factor. So you go without him, and he's capable of getting back-to-back hat tricks. But you stick with him, and then if you get a defender like Craig Dawson, William Saliba, who's had him in the back pocket in games, it's not going to happen all the time. But he hasn't been pulling up trees, so there are options out there to have in your team, like the ones we've discussed already, instead of Haaland. So, yeah, options.
Right, so I'll go with mine. So this was the first weekend that I've seriously thought Haaland is going to go. And the reason I say that is Haaland's not running away with the points this season. There's nothing to say that Haaland could score. Like, don't get me wrong, Haaland could go and grab a 20-point haul against Man United this weekend. But there's nothing to say that Bukayo Saka couldn't do that, or Son could do that, or well, if you have Salah as captain, it's double, or Watkins, if you get what I mean. So last season, Haaland was running away with it by miles. The only one who was kind of near him, I think, I might be wrong, was Harry Kane at some points in the season, or I say Saka and Martinelli as the two come close to him, and Salah does Salah stuff. Thing with Haaland though, it's a lot of money, 14 million. You could spread that around your squad and have a better squad. Like, for example, you could bring in a someone like a Saka or a James Maddison and a Callum Wilson or someone along those levels for say a Haaland and a 6 point a midfielder between the 6 and the 7 million mark. So it's one of those when you look behind the sofa when he's playing, you think, oh, no, he's going to score, and he will get you points. Like, I'm not going to bullcrap you all and say, oh no, he won't, because he will. But the people you're bringing in, are they going to get you more points combined than what he would? And I think that's the way you have to look at it. I'll let you into a secret. I will be getting rid of Erling Haaland. So, but that's only because I'm biased and want to bring my Bukayo in. So, yes, well, if I didn't have to do that, I probably wouldn't. But I just think the more, like, if, say, Haaland has got what? He got 8 points, didn't he, without the captaincy last weekend. So when I went through it, you had Embuemo, Song, Maddison, Declan Rice, Ollie Watkins, Mo Salah, all had more points than Haaland last weekend.
Where my argument comes in here, though, is that you can still have Haaland, but not have him as captain because there are other players that will get you more points when their points are doubled.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that, but then if you want to, all depends what way you want to have your team out, doesn't it? Really, like, so if you wanted to say, like, for example, you could have a midfield of, say, Salah, Song, Maddison, Saka, and Diaby. Trippier in your defence as well. Watkins, you're not getting Haaland in with that. Whereas it all depends what formation people want to play as well. Because if they want to play 3 up front, then you can bring decent. But if you want to go and play 2 up front and just go like a bench fodder third striker, then you've got loads of options in midfield. Like I'm not saying Haaland is definitely got to go, but what I'm saying is it it's the only time now. Like if for people who got rid of him in game week 7, again was it game week 7 against Wolves?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
I'm not being rude. You'd be laughing now, really, like because you've had 3 weeks of Haaland not really doing that much damage. And I know I'll say all this and he'll go and score plenty at the weekend because it's United. And no offense, us 3 could play as a front 3 and probably grab about 4 or 5 against them. But I don't know. Like it's a lot of money. 14 million for someone. If it wasn't Haaland and he hadn't done what he done last season, I just wonder how many people would stick to him.
that's what I said. It's the fear factor, though, isn't it? It's because what he did last season
It's
is
just be a factor if you
keeping him
didn't Salah for me, or like I had the fear, like I'm not gonna lie, I had the fear factor last season, the last couple of seasons when I didn't have Harry Kane. Like because let's be honest, Harry Kane was scoring points for fun.
Yeah, definitely. After the World Cup, he went straight in my
if
team.
yeah, if Haaland was scoring like loads and loads of points and was massively miles ahead of everyone, I'd be like, yeah, it's sacrilege to drop him. But and I know this is probably Erling's probably watching this on his, I don't know what phone he's got, iPhone 15 if that's even out or something.
There's someone watching. There's one person watching. If you
That
want to
might
see
be
who that,
Erling.
yeah, it might be him. Well, he's still
And he's
watching.
probably
So
thinking, I was
he's
going to
still watching.
prove
So
him.
you've not upset him.
I'm going to prove him wrong by scoring loads. But I don't know if it makes sense what I'm trying to say. But
It does. It does. I think what you're trying to say is you can, without Haaland, you can stack your midfield. You can have top players. You can stack your squad. You can have a really very strong squad, and
yeah,
every 15 players are all optionals to play. So is kind of the point I think we've been talking about all week as well. Is it's not a case of going. I think FPL Raptor. He was one of the first who did it.
yeah,
I like watching his shows. He's good. Shout out to him. But if you have what he was saying is you're not taking Haaland out because he's a bad player. Far from it. But you're looking at bringing players in like Son and Trippier, for example, who can equally make up the points of Haaland
yeah.
or surpass his points. So then when you add to the other players around the squad, for the value you're spending, you could potentially get more points.
I think it'll make more sense when we do the team, when we talk about our teams, and I'll explain how I'm better off in one way without Haaland. Obviously, I'm weakened because I don't have Haaland, but I'm better off in another way. So, unless you guys got anything else to say about the Haaland topic,
Not for me. I think that's a good segue to go on to the teams because we're keeping the Haaland subject rolling.
yeah, cool. So we'll start. Hubert, I'll give you a chance to get your team up in case you haven't got it up. But
I was going to say, yeah, please don't come to me first.
so I'll start with me. So I've got Areola in goal. I'm playing 3-4-3. I've got Kieran Trippier, Gabriel, Matty Cash, the Polish Cafu, as I've just heard the song on TikTok. I think that's a quality song. Then I've got Mo Salah. It will be Bukayo Saka, Jared Bowen, and Musa Diaby, which I don't think is a bad one. And then at the minute, or if I change it, it's probably looking to be Darwin, Alvarez, and Watkins with a bench of Turner, Gordon, Byrne, and Charlie Taylor. But if I do it the way I have 3.8 million in the bank still. So do you know what I mean? That's the leverage I have. And that's the beauty of jumping on players early enough, isn't it, Matt?
Yes, mate. Yeah, there was my delay there because I didn't do that. So yeah, yeah, that's why you've got your great team value that I haven't got. So yeah.
So yeah, what who have you got, Matt?
I feel like I want a drum roll. I want a drum roll because breaking news. I hit the wildcard button. I've done it. Yeah, I hit the wildcard. It happened. It happened. To be fair, it happened last night. Yep. So I did it. I've gone without Haaland. But so for me, the team that's going to line up this weekend, this game week, I'm going Areola in goal. I've got a back three I'm going Cash, Gabriel, and Simicas. I'm going to midfield five of Salah, Saka. Who else? Matoma, Diaby, and Son. With two up front of Darwin and Watkins. And Mo is going to be captain. Watkins will be vice captain. So the bench will also be Johnston, Alvarez, Trippier, and Gay.
I tell you, that's a brave bench. I'm not going to lie, that is a brave bench.
Yeah. I just couldn't see any other options. It was like, right, it's got to be done.
That could be a 30-point bench.
Yeah.
Or you might get away with it. But you'd be screwed if Spurs was 0-0, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's some wishful thinking going on there, mate, isn't there? But yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a decent team now as well. How much money you got left in the bank?
0.2. It's not good, is it? But yeah, that's it.
It's not that good, but you've still got the 0.2, so you can add that on, and then, like you say, most of them you're going to keep. The value will keep with that. So like Bukayo Saka's due an upgrade, I think next week. So obviously, because I've worked out quickly with the price rises, the more people that buy, the better it is for your price rise. So yeah, that's not too. I forgot to say Salah will be my captain as well. So.
Just talking about price rises and dips in prices as well. So I was going to do it last night, held off because of the Champions League games. So I missed out on Trippier, 6.9. He's now 7. So anyone's thinking of getting him, he's gone up 0.1. So that cost me obviously having 0.3 in the bank. But I was thinking of having Matoma and then having Martinelli.
Yeah.
And then having Branthwaite as a 4 mil defender and then Turner in goal. But I went with the Palace 2 of Johnston Gay because after this game week, they've got a good 5 game week runs in them. So there's some good clean sheets there, hopefully. But I was also trying to get in Callum Wilson. But Darwin's got to stay. So just can't have everyone, can you?
No, I suppose not. Are you ready, Hubert, to go through yours?
Yes, mine's been interesting in the last few minutes because I found out actually that I can't afford Ollie Watkins in my team. So after me basically saying, get him in, you're stupid if you don't. And I've actually couldn't get him. So my team as it stands, it's rejiggled a little bit. So I'm going to take you through it. I have Sanchez in goal still. Then my back three of Trippier, Saliba, and Matty Cash. Midfield four of Saka, not in this order, but Saka, Maddison, Ward-Prowse, and Diaby. And front three enforced, may I point out, of Alvarez, Callum Wilson, and Erling Haaland.
Yeah, not a bad side. You haven't got Salah. Oh, did you say Salah?
Saka. I don't have Salah at the moment. It's affordability. I'll have to probably kick Haaland out, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, it's not a bad side. Like, I think, like, even though with the Chelsea fixtures, Chelsea are playing a lot better than they was. So having Sanchez is not like there's worse goalkeepers you could go for.
Well, it's either him or Onana at the moment in my team. So
yeah, I won't play him against Man City.
Exactly.
This is what I mean, though. That Man City Man United game is very dangerous because a lot of people are writing Man United off straight away.
I think both teams to score easily.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, FPL wise. If you've got any defensive players for City or United, I'd drop them because I just think it's going to be about all the attack. But obviously, Man United are back now because Anana and Harry Maguire saved them in the Champions League, aren't they? So,
Well, this was it. See, where are the goals coming from? Look no further. Harry Maguire.
4.2 million.
Yeah, there you go. That's a shout.
Cool. Well, we'll move on to the last part of the show with the. I was going to do that X Factor in or bin, but yeah. So we'll start with who we're going to.
Man United in the bin. Chuck
yeah.
them in the bin. Don't matter which one. In the bin they go.
Even put the mascot in the bin.
Yeah, you can go with them. Yep.
So we'll start with seeing as Matt can start first. It's apart from Man United in the bin, anyone else?
Anyone else? I'd have to say Matt Turner. I just think
You nicked my
it's
answer.
harsh. It's harsh, but I think they've bought the fella from Benfica. I cannot pronounce his name. He's not given up. He was playing Champions League football, so he's not going to be sitting on the bench too much longer. So I think Turner's got to go. And I think the one to keep, which a lot of people have taken out of their squads, is Matoma. And I think he's just got to stay for the fixtures. So that's mine.
Hubert?
For me, I've binned Nicholas Jackson. I don't know how much he'll score in the next few fixtures. There's a few interesting ones, and he's just not consistent enough for me. That's not saying don't bring him back after, but for me, there are strikers that are more consistent, and I think what you need is as consistent players as you can in an area where the points accumulate the most.
Yeah, sounds good. Cool. I'm gonna go Gabriel.
Oh yeah, I forgot my in actually. Yeah, Ollie Watkins. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go Gabriel as my in. My in the bin was gonna be Matt Turner until someone nicked it. Now I'll probably go for
Man United. Chuck him in the bin.
I should put Spurs in. I would probably actually go for Phil Foden. I just think he'll probably do that now, go and do really well against Man United. But I don't know if he's not really performed the last few couple of games, has he? So I think that you're very apart from Jeremy Doku, I think is that his name? Doku?
Yeah, Doku, yeah. Yep.
Played really well against Brighton, but yeah, I'll go for Phil Foden. If not him, then yeah, say Rashford or Fernandes, someone like that. So yeah, that is
good man. Yep.
That is the show. So I hope you guys all enjoyed our so-called expert opinions about Erling Haaland and other stuff. If you have any feedback or anything you would like us to talk about, just drop us a message. You can either do it on the videos or.
Yes, mate. Yeah. Before we go, I'd like us to discuss one more thing. I think it helps and I think it's probably a good thing to chuck in the show every week. FPL Pod Do It is a differential.
Yeah, cool.
So for me, I'm sticking with Simicast of Liverpool. He is 3.6% owned, 4.5. The fixtures look good. Easy one for me. What about you? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that differential.
Hide that brown envelope from Liverpool. I can see it on your video.
Differential for me, I would probably say is I don't know. I still like Pedro Neto at Wolves. I know he's probably not as low as that. I'm not sure.
Get this one,
but I still think he can offer a start. Him or Douglas Luiz, and I know you're not really meant to pick central midfielders, but he just seems to be doing the business really. And having players like McGinn, Diaby, Leon Bailey, it's very highly that there's going to be set pieces or penalties. So yeah, probably more Douglas Luiz. What do you reckon, Hubert? Before we finish,
I would a Pedro Neto I don't get, but Douglas Luiz absolutely definitely get him in. I think he could definitely get some points. You know, he scored last in against West Ham, so you never know. And Villa have a very what could be considered an easy fixture, so many players can get goals. So you never know.
I will say about Pedro Neto, he has got 19 points in the last 3 game weeks, so he's not actually done that bad.
Very good enabler. Very good.
Either him or like if the fixtures are different, Palmer is the best enabler for me, but like he's on penalties for Chelsea and
I think in that bracket, you got the three, haven't you? You got Palmer, you got Neto, like you've said, and you've also got the man in your squad, Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And on that note, if you disagree or agree with any of us, like I said, drop us a message, or you can follow us at Golden Goal on the X
Golden Goal TV, yep.
At Golden Goal TV, or we have a Facebook group, and we sometimes talk about this in the WhatsApp group. So once again, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Hubert.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, mate. It's good. And I hope Erling is still watching.
Yeah.
There's someone still watching. What I will add is, can you subscribe to this channel, like the video, share it, and click that bell to receive notifications. So when we start the FPL show with Matt's side show, FPL Liverpool show, you can get the first notification.
FPL Scouse. That's going to be Matt's new name.
The Anfield Ace. Yeah.
Matt, we will put out our Scouse selection on Facebook.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys, and join us next week at an earlier time where we will talk about how much damage Erling Haaland caused. And I will be in my 30s when we do that show, so be nice. Goodbye.
Yeah, good luck, guys.